Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm privileged to welcome a very, very senior and accomplished global corporate professional from Germany, Mr. Joerg Storm, or Dr. Joerg Storm. Dr. Storm, welcome to the show.
Yes, Ashutosh, so thank you very much for the invite today.
Thank you. Dr. Storm is the global head of the IT infrastructure for Mercedes-Benz Mobility. And as I mentioned a little while back, he's a global professional. He has worked in China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. So, Joerg, before we get into your experiences in China, tell me about your own amazing journey in brief.
Yeah, good. I'm German. Yeah, I studied in Germany. I studied also in US and for time. And when I studied, we did some internships, and I did 2 internships, one in also in US and one in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at that time I already liked to work in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
I started working at Siemens Consulting in Munich. And then moved to Mercedes-Benz, at that time Daimler Chrysler, in Stuttgart. And during my, I think, not 23 years, I have several roles, positions from strategy, audit, sales, and now IT.
Wonderful. So let's talk about your experience with China. You probably were at China when it was just about beginning to go into some major growth stages. What are some of the biggest learnings and challenges you have faced during your term in China?
Yeah, I think to add something, I was before China. I was also 6 years in Japan, working in Tokyo, and I made a vacation to Beijing, so I knew what I could expect. But the major challenges for me personally was this air pollution thing. So this is, and the more I read about this, PM 2.5, the more I was concerned. And then I think you have 2 ways. Either you put 10 air purifier in your apartment and make it clean, and don't go out if it's really bad air, or you say you ignore it and okay, that's life. I was on the first part, so we had a lot of air purifiers at home. Made it really clean and didn't go out with bad air. And this is quite different. So, for example, in Germany, if it's bad air or bad weather, you take an umbrella, you still can go out. But in China, if it's really then bad air, was let's say AQI of 500, you can say, do I really want to do this? It's now 20 times the World Health Organization maximum figure. Do I really want to do, or do I stay at home? So this was, for me, this was the biggest thing, which now over the last years got drastically improved. So really the air is much better. What surprised me also on the positive side, the friendliness of the people, openness of the people, and the super interesting work environment. So this was, and the speed. I visited maybe a year before Beijing and then came back. And in this 1 year, so many things are changing, new infrastructures built. So this was for me, I think, the biggest.
Fantastic. And when you were working in China, how did you navigate the complex regulatory environment? And what kind of strategies did you use to ensure compliance with local laws?
I cannot read Chinese. So the local laws I probably also didn't know as a personal, as a human being. But I think I would say nothing I would not do in Germany, I would do in China either. So I think for example, I did the driver license in China. I had to learn that. I had to learn different traffic signs, which for example we don't have in Germany. So I have to apply to this, and all other things. I think it's the common sense
Okay,
there was
enough.
not something special thing.
Fair enough.
In business life, there's a little bit different. There are some different laws, like, for example, China cybersecurity law, which is different and comparable maybe to the GDPR we're having in Germany or in Europe.
And given the fact that you were there as an expatriate, how did you handle the cultural differences between China and your home country?
Yeah, I said I was 6 years before already in Japan, so I knew a little bit about culture, and I have a PhD in intercultural management, so I know also maybe a little bit more about intercultural management, at least from a theoretical point of view. But I think this all starts with yourself. Yeah, if you know by yourself what you do, this is basically like, I think one cultural scientist said, this is culture is a collective programming of your brain. If you know that what you see and perceive is maybe not the only truth, there are also other ways to do things. If you start by yourself, then I think it's already good enough. Yeah, this is pretty good, and not always think that what you do, this is the only right way to do. So this, I think, is my approach to that. And you have to, for example, Asian culture, you have to deal with those persons also with respect, and this giving face, for example, something that people shouldn't lose face. I think it's also common sense, and I did that.
Very interesting.
Really take care.
And what would you say, given 6 years in Japan and then many years in China, what would you say were some of your biggest achievements during your term in China?
My biggest achievement, you mean in terms of private or
professional? Professional.
Biggest achievement, I think the fact that I see there's huge differences in digital transformation speed in Germany and / Western world versus China, where things are super fast. Only one, not only digital, but also infrastructure speed. For example, Germany, the airport Berlin took 14 years to build, 14, and China, Beijing, they built the biggest airport in the world in 4 years.
Amazing.
So this is something really which always strikes me. I say there are also other ways to do, and maybe not always the way you think is the right way is really the right way. So this is, I think, one lesson learned. Like really fast pace in China.
Very, very interesting. You spoke a few minutes ago about the pollution, but there are also a lot of other questions relating to sustainability and environmental concerns in China. How did you approach these?
Yeah, I think there's still some to-dos in China. For example, if you look about environmental topics, and again, comparing with Germany, and probably I think we are state of the art right now in terms of recycling. I think we have four trash bins at home. 4 trash bins. You have to recycle everything. And in China, we put everything out at the beginning, all trash out, and someone is sorting everything. And now also in China, they set this up. And we have, for example, if you buy Coca-Cola or water or beer, it's always, you have to bring the bottle back. We have always, most of them are sold in glass bottles or in a little bit in aluminum can, but there's always a deposit. So no one throws the bottles away in Germany, while this is in China, or maybe not only China, also other countries, still the case. So this deposits model, I think this is a very good thing, which educates the people to take care about the environment.
Very well said. And when I was reading about you, Joerg, I was thinking about my own journey to China. I mean, the first time I went to China was in 1989, and I've been back there at least 70 or 80 times. But I remember when I went in 89, there were only cycle roads in Beijing.
Hmm.
And today, it's a major car producer. So my question is, what are some of the major trends or developments you have seen in Chinese automobile industry over the last so many years?
I clearly remember when I arrived in China and looked out of the taxi, I looked left and right. I saw a lot of EVs, electric cars. While also comparing to Western world, when I left, there was almost no electric car.
Yeah.
So this was a big difference. And still this market is growing there as the Chinese government is, for example, subsidizing this industry. Even some cities, only electric cars are allowed, no combustion engines anymore. So this is a big topic. And the other topic, I think also this autonomous driving is growing with a very fast speed. There are mainly big IT companies, for example, like Baidu. They had corporations with local OEMs and have autonomous driving, autonomous taxi. Driving, where the Winter Olympics was at that area, there are autonomous taxis already running. So also very interesting to see, and I think this will be the EV and autonomous. This will be the mega trend for sure.
Very interesting. So one more question, and then I'll move to leadership. You've got such extensive understanding of China. What advice would you give to other business leaders who are considering expanding their operations in China based on your own learnings?
In Germany, for example, we always say, this is Germany, this is France, this is Spain, and everyone has to be treated differently. But for China, I think this is a much bigger difference because China is so big. I read something about was it the size? I think the size almost as same size as whole Europe. So very big country, but with also within the country a lot of differences, a lot of very high diversity. So I think they don't treat China as one country. So this I think will first, because it's pure size and the differences. And tier 1 city like Beijing and Shanghai is not a tier 3 and 4 or city or rural area. So also this, you cannot really think everything what you have in Beijing, you also always have on the countryside. Then there's digital front runners, for sure. The younger generation, digital natives, I would say, they are mobile first. A lot of my staff, for example, employees, colleagues, they didn't have a PC at home anymore. They only have an iPad or mobile phone. So mobile first. And the customers are very, very demanding and very tough competition. So if you want to go there as a company, have that in mind. Maybe the approach and service you offer in your home country, you cannot survive in China. I'll give you an example. For example, if you Amazon, I only know the German Amazon site, but if you want to buy something there and have a question to a product, maybe you can write that the seller, and maybe you get next day an answer. In China, if you want to buy something on Taobao, there's a chat function. Even at night, 12 o'clock, you get immediately a reply from the seller. Someone replies to you. And so I think this is a very good, very different service level.
Yeah, well said. So I'm going to now move to some questions to you on leadership. And you have led large teams in multiple countries. What, in your opinion, are the most important qualities of a successful leader?
successful leader. I think having quick decision-making skills, one thing, then being able to attract, retain, and also develop people, empower people, mentor your staff, and ensure high job satisfaction of the team. And as a leader, also taking ownership about your fast decisions in positive and negative cases. So I think this is most important qualities, I think.
Well said. Thank you. Great response. And as a leader, how did you balance innovation and risk-taking while maintaining the stability and profitability of the organization?
This innovation topic is a very important topic, not only for our company, but also for our other companies. And what I found out is that, for example, if you have to innovation projects, the team is extremely motivated working on this, and they walk the extra mile on this. So, and also this is I think also a very good topic to increase the employee satisfaction. Plus, for the company then itself, also to try out new technologies, develop new proof of concepts, to see if this new innovation is suitable for example, the production process. So, but you have to do both, You have to do on the one hand side, you have to work on this driving innovation, plus also making sure that the existing business runs stable, especially it's from IT perspective, IT operation. This is a priority number one, that due to IT issue, the production line, for example, is not disrupted.
Interesting. My next question to you is that how do you foster a culture of teamwork and collaboration within your teams?
I think it all starts with the core companies of the core values of the company. And for example, our core values are respect, to respect each other, integrity, that we always work within a compliance standard, passion. What I said, really, that you bring passion into the team, that they love working on topics like this innovation topic, but also discipline. What you also mentioned before, this operation, this is a discipline topic that really makes sure that this runs stable. Besides this culture of teamwork, I think another aspect for what I do is honesty to the team, direct communication, and no politics.
Thank you. I've time for 3 more questions for you. My next question is, what strategies do you use to motivate and engage employees?
Micromanagement. No micromanagement. They're really trusting and believing into the capabilities of the team. This is, I think, for me, a very important topic, but also for my employees, for my team. I think, an important topic, that really I give them the freedom, I give them the responsibility, that they can work on a project without doing any micromanagement. So I need to trust in the capabilities of the team, of the person. So this is something what I want, and what I also give to my team. Plus, no hierarchies. This I learned, for example, you asked at the beginning about cultural differences. Taking away the hierarchy level, because sometimes there is a difference in the hierarchy. So, but really being approachable also as a manager, as a boss to the teams, show them that you are available and care about them, and also to remember the name. To remember the name of the people, of the staff, to remember to ask also a private question. How was your vacation? How is your son or daughter at school? And how is your cat? Something like this, also to have this emotional binding factor besides this business. I think this is a very important topic to make sure that the employees, they feel treated appropriately and give the best in their job.
Wonderful. 2 more questions. Based on your own amazing journey, can you share a leadership lesson that you learned the hard way?
Yeah, what I mentioned before, this micromanagement topic. This is exactly something what I learned, but I really don't like. And for example, not happened at my current company, at another company before. Imagine you have your year-end appraisal with your boss. And at that time, I had my year-end appraisal with my boss, and this person, during giving me feedback, she or he was sorting the business cards. The business cards into a folder, plus picking up the phone, I think 2-3 times. I thought this is very, very disturbing and not appropriate. So this, for example, I would never do. If I say I have a meeting one-on-one with one of my colleagues, I spend those 30 minutes, 45, 60 minutes for that person, and don't sort my business cards or do other things, doing emails in parallel, especially not in a year-end appraisal. I really want to give some positive feedback, might also maybe show some areas for improvement.
Wonderful. And my last question to you, Joerg, and this is for the many, many people who will listen to our conversation. Based on your own journey and as such a senior technology professional, what would you say are 3 lessons you would want our viewers and listeners to take away from all the things that you have learned in so many different countries?
I had 3 topics. Okay, good. For China, for example, get your act together. Buckle up. The competition in China is not sleeping, and they're getting better every single day. So be prepared that this will be quite some challenging. Another topic for China that and I'm talking about the Western world, maybe other countries too, we can learn a lot about China, how to do things. But I would not also say this relates only to China, relates to every culture. We can learn from a lot from other cultures, other countries, how to do things in a better way or in a different way. This is and this I learned in my intercultural, in my 12 years Asia, for example. Leadership, trust in your team, give them freedom, respect, and also emotional EQ, emotional intelligence, I think is an important topic.
Wonderful. And on that note, Joerg, and your amazing 3 lessons: get your act together, learn how to do things better in a better way from different cultures that you have the opportunity to interact with. And third one you said was trust your team. Thank you so much for speaking to me about your own amazing journey. Thank you for giving me so many different perspectives on how to do business in China. And thank you for speaking to me about so many different aspects of leadership. Thank you again, and good luck.
Joerg, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.